My name is Rachel Heil. I am from Southern California and I go to California State University Fullerton, majoring in anthropology. My interest in anthropology began by studying human evolution in biology and art classes in high school, and it developed into a fascination of human remains and interpreting the stories they tell.
And I'm Alyssa McGrath. I'm from San Francisco, California, and I go to school at the University of Notre Dame, where I'm also majoring in anthropology. I first became interested in anthropology when I took an archaeology class, and really enjoyed how it utilized scientific methods to learn otherwise unknown information about people, societies, and cultures of the past.
We are studying bones from two tombs in the United Arab Emirates that date back to the early Bronze Age. These tombs are part of the Umanar period, which was from 2700 to 2000 BC. The people in this period built large towers which local rulers likely lived on and controlled sources of water, a scarce resource. Desert oases and date palms provided water and shade that allowed agriculture.
Here in the United States, we think of traditional funerary practices as the burial of individuals in cemeteries or the burning of individuals as cremations. However, the Umanar tombs we are studying in the Emirate of Ras Al Khaimah, called Unar I and Unar II, show evidence of very different customs than our own. The people of the Umanar period chose to place their recently deceased all in the same tomb. These tombs were large. Tomb Unar I was 11.5 meters in diameter and was first used around 2400 BC, while Tomb Unar II was 14.5 meters and came into use around 2300 BC. The skeletal remains that were found inside these tombs were commingled, meaning the bones were all mixed together. The fact that these people placed hundreds of their community members together in the same tomb and intentionally mixed their remains has led archaeologists to hypothesize that they viewed the dead as equal, despite having at least some differences in social status during life.
Our research involved investigating the minimum number of individuals, or MNI, in the two tombs, as well as the cremation practices used to process the dead. To accomplish this, we examined a foot bone called the talus. The talus is located between the tibia, one of your bones in your lower leg, and the calcaneus, which is your heel bone. The talus is a unique bone because of its compact structure. This makes the bone more durable, which allows for better preservation, giving us a more accurate MNI count. Our first hypothesis, or educated guess on what we expect to find in the tombs, was that Tomb Unar II would have a greater number of individuals than Tomb Unar I, simply because Unar II was larger in size. We used two different methods to estimate MNI for the two tombs. The first method was called the landmark method, which uses four distinct features of the talus: the head, the neck, the trochlea, and the posterior calcaneal surface. The second method we used to evaluate MNI was the zonation method. This method involved dividing the talus into four distinct zones, illustrated here. To find the minimum number of individuals using these methods, we separated the bones by side and only counted the landmarks and zones that were over 50% present.
In addition to MNI, we also examined color changes to bone resulting from cremation. Bone changes color when heat is applied, starting at light brown, but then turning dark brown, black, gray, blue-gray, and finally white at the hottest temperatures. White bone is also referred to as calcined bone, meaning that all the organic material in bone is broken down, leaving only inorganic material. During the Umanar period, some people were cremated while others were not. To find the extent of cremation, we used a book of standardized colors called the Munsell Soil Color Chart, and then grouped the colors into broader categories of unburned, burned, and calcined. We predicted that Unar II would have more calcined bone than Unar I because of the amount and extent of burned bones observed by archaeologists during the tomb's excavation and later curation. After developing our hypotheses and methods, we had 2 weeks to collect our data from the remains of the two tombs. These 2 weeks were filled with recording the features, zones, and colors of hundreds of bones in order to move on to statistical analysis and find out results.
The landmark and zonation methods for calculating the minimum number of individuals gave us very similar results. Our calculated MNI using the zonation method for Tomb Unar I is 88, and for Tomb Unar II is 228, while the landmark method gave us an MNI of 87 for Tomb Unar I and 227 for Unar II. These data confirmed our hypothesis that tomb Unar 2 would have a greater MNI than Unar 1.
Next, when comparing the amount of burning of bone between the two tombs, we found that tomb Unar 2 has a considerably larger amount of calcined or white bone compared to tomb Unar 1. This tells us not only that the number of people who were cremated increased between the period when tomb Unar 1 was used to when tomb Unar 2 was used, but that they were cremated at higher temperatures. We are so thankful for the opportunity to study tombs Unar 1 and Unar 2 and gain an insight into the Umunar culture. It is a privilege to study these remains, and we would like to thank the following people and organizations for their help and guidance during our project.